Hey everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider. We are here at Comic-Con 2024, and as you can probably hear behind me, there is literally a fiesta on the street. I mean, it's crazy. But enough about Comic-Con. Let me introduce Josh Cooley, the director of Transformers 1. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a fiesta out here.
Yeah, it's crazy back.
It is literally, yeah.
People can't see it on camera, but there is like a full-on like built party thing. It's insane.
I haven't been here in years, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. It's crazy.
Yeah, the influx of Hollywood money.
Ah.
You know? Okay, so listen, I've seen your movie. It is excellent. I am
Thank you.
I mean, I said this on the social media, but it's definitely one of the best Transformers movie. And after I see it in 3D and IMAX, I will make my final judgment, because I saw some of the footage in 3D at CinemaCon, and it looked incredible. And I'm not a 3D guy.
You know what? I'm not either. It makes the movie somehow better,
Yep.
which kind of totally blew my mind. It really immerses you into it, and obviously it's 3D, but it makes things easier to see sometimes, which I was not prepared for. And so my mind was blown by the 3D, and it's made for it.
Totally. And just to let the audience know, when I think of best Transformers movies, it's the original Michael Bay, the first one, because I just think it's great, the 86 animated movie, and your film. So my question for you is, how do you, as the filmmaker behind Transformers 1, compare your movie to the 86 animated movie?
I can't. It's just, I remember seeing the 86 movie at a birthday party, a friend's birthday party, and I was, affected. It just, I was part of that generation that was affected by it. I'm too close to Transformers 1. It's in a weird way, it's like, I'm just too close to
Sure.
try and judge it and put it up there. But I love the first Transformers, 2007, 86, Bumblebee. I'm a fan of Bumblebee as well.
I really enjoyed Bumblebee, but I'm not like, a lot of people love it. And I'm not like, I liked it a lot, but it wasn't like...
You know what I think about it is that the original cartoon, Bumblebee, was a fan favorite because he was kind of hanging out with a young kid. And that's exactly what the movie is doing. So I think for me, it reignited that. What
Sure.
I remember.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not dissing on Bumblebee. It just isn't in my top 3.
Totally.
You know? So one of the things about that I think fans are going to love is you did and Lorenzo said this on stage during my producer panel, what a lot of people aren't going to realize is in the movies, when you have the robots, the Autobots, the Decepticons, they cost so much money to animate that you have to minimize their screen time. You can't do a 20-minute scene of Optimus and Megatron. It will bankrupt you, right?
Yeah, it's all about the detail. So with live action, you have the real world to compete with when you're designing a Transformer. So you need to see every single nut, every single bolt, every single mechanism. With an animated film, it allows you to exaggerate and to kind of simplify things as well. So we didn't need to see every single joint and movement in the face. And that totally makes sense for it to be just as expensive.
Well, no, what I was basically going at is the reason I think fans are going to love it, and the reason I think the movie is so good, is because you actually have relationships between the characters. Like, you see Megatron and Optimus Prime as friends, as essentially like brothers, and the progression of their relationship to what fans can maybe expect.
And that's what got me involved from day one. I read that in the script. It's like, this is totally new. An origin story where they're friends at first. That's the challenge for this movie. It's like, how can we sell these characters that everybody knows as enemies? How can we sell them as best friends? And I knew that if we can do that and do it right, there's always that underlining tension of, we know it's going to fall apart, which is great. You want that as a storyteller. You're always playing with it. So it's heartbreaking in a way, because people like seeing them together. Love hearing Chris's voice and Brian's together.
Yeah, and it's a believable relationship, and it's believable, and I don't want to spoil anything as to why things go a certain way. You know, I mean, you all know what happens, but you know what I mean.
But how it happens? Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I'm not going to give.
It's two different worldviews of the same problem. So, and it's you kind of understand both solutions, which is an awesome thing to do. Is not just show a bad guy be bad, but why are they acting the way they're acting?
Talk a little bit about what, like, a lot of people won't realize certain shots in animation cost a lot more than others. So what were some of the shots that people might think, oh, that's not expensive, but were, oh my God, expensive?
There's a scene where basically it's a flashback that's told in real time. So it's almost like AR, augmented reality, where it's happening around our characters, and it's all made out of metal filings. So every single little thing is flying around them. And when I pitched it to ILM, I said, so in this scene, standing in the middle of this, and the story is being told around them, and it's all made out of sand and metal, and they're going to go, okay. And I knew, I could sense like they're going, how the hell are we going to do this? And I knew it was going to be expensive as well. But what's so great about ILM, they're ILM. And they said, we'll figure it out. And they came back and showed an early test of it. And I was like, that's it. That's totally it.
One of the things is with the animation, it looks so good. Did it always, talk a little bit about when you realized, or designing what it was actually going to look and feel like, and working with ILM on that?
Knowing it was going to be animated, it gives you some leeway to exaggerate things, make things a little bigger and broader. But I didn't want to go full cartoony with it. I never thought of this as a cartoon. It was always, I want this to be believable. That's always the word I was using, was it's something that you see and you go, I could reach out and touch that. There's weight to it. There's correct physics. The lighting feels right, but it's something I've never seen before. So it was a tall order to try and create something that's never been seen, but we had such great material like G1 and sure. The original artists, and we wanted to use Art Deco as an inspiration, and J.C. Leindecker, the illustrator, the painter, his paintings, they look like sculptures, like living sculptures of people, and I was like, that's the kind of feel that I want for our characters. Since they are still robots, we can't ignore the fact that they're robots, but I still want some of that humanistic characteristics in there. I
know that Lorenzo, and I think even you have said, or Lorenzo has told me, like he envisioned this as like a trilogy. Like he saw this as 3 films, and I'm not going to do any spoilers, but obviously the film ends in a way that you can continue.
Yeah.
And the fact that Paramount has started screening it 2 months before release, that tells you how good it is, and it tells you that the studio believes in it. So my question is, now that they're clearly very confident on the film, how much have they started calling you and been like, let's start working on the other one?
I couldn't hear you over the Fiesta.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Right, listen, I already know what's going on, and I'm going to say it on camera, and I'll say it to you. They've clearly called you and said, let's start developing, because it takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time. And it's like, I know people are going to, this is a really good movie. Like and there's something else, which is, animation is doing so well now at the box office.
Yeah.
And people are going to see it in theaters, which is another reason why, no matter what this cost, it's cheaper than a live action Transformers.
I wanted to make this for the big screen. It was never, I was like, I know Paramount Plus exists. I want this to be on IMAX. I want to be in 3D. We looked at a lot of epic movies that have a personal relationship at the core. So like Spartacus and Ben-Hur and 10 Commandments, like big epic films like that, knowing that this is going to be something that's huge that you have to go see on the big screen.
100%. So I'm going to do one more follow-up if you don't mind. Are you working on the script now for the sequel, or what's going on? Are you just thinking about it?
Well, I'll tell you this, that I can't help but think about what's next, because we're finishing up this one and watching all the different versions that are coming, IMAX 3D, all that. So I've been watching the movie quite a lot, and my story brain can't turn off. So I have my ideas.
Sure. And again, when we get closer to release, I'm going to ask you more specific stuff, especially about the ending and other things. This is not the time or the place, but you will want more when the movie ends.
I hope so.
I'm very confident. I'm looking at my little cheat sheet. So one of the things that I think the film does so effectively, and it's important for a franchise like Transformers, which is, it is going to appeal to the diehard fans, but you're also able to introduce to a new generation and kids, pulling them in. So talk a little bit about the trickiness of appealing to kids and also to the older fans.
It's very tricky to try and make the majority of people happy, with something. It's very difficult. I credit my background at Pixar for helping with that. I was a little bit for about 18 years. So I've worked on films where it is about getting as big of an audience and people, enjoying it as possible. With Transformers, it's different because you have people that are such hardcore fans. And the great thing was my entire crew are hardcore fans. So, and I am as well. So it was a lot of love was brought into it. But being an origin story really helps, because you can go, we all know this part where they go to Earth, but before that, let's start talking about the beginning of Transformers and kind of the early, in the very beginning, what happened. And there's a little bit of that in there, so it helps to kind of ground everything that comes up afterwards.
I'm always curious about the editing process. So the thing about animated movies is they can change a lot in production. So did this film go through like radical changes where you redid tons of things?
Yeah, that's just part of the animation process, the process that I'm familiar with, which is, get it up on storyboards as fast as possible, because that's where it's going to live. It's not going to live in a script. It's going to live up on the screen. And so you want to look at it and go, is this what's working? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You want to be as wrong as fast as possible. So you're looking to see what does work, what feels right, what feels true, and then tear it down, start out, right, you rewrite scenes and put it back up. So we did that on this film, I want to say about 6-7 times. And it evolves. It evolves over time. And yeah, one of the blessings about animation is we can be on the mix stage and I'll, say, can we change that shot to be a little bit longer? And we can go back in and do things at the last second. It's a blessing and a curse, should say. What
is the biggest change or the thing that you came this close to being in it, but ended up getting cut that,
Oh, wow. Let's see.
Was there like a character? Was there a scene? Was there
not a character, like every character. There's a lot of characters in it. There was, let's see. There was a scene where there was a hunt kind of happening with Arachnid, who's our spider character, and it was just her tracking, and it was awesome. And it was the one moment I was like, oh, I wish we didn't have to cut that, because it was just pure visual and just kind of awesome Transformer moment.
That's called a sequel.
Hey,
yeah, just throwing that out there.
That could definitely happen.
One of these things is with like deleted scenes. Did you animate anything that made it that far, then you actually cut it out? So everything got in.
Everything got in there. We didn't cut any scenes that were even in layout, I want to say. So the structure of the script was there from the very beginning. I think the biggest thing, a lot of our changes were in just the tone, just how to find the right tone to go, this is Transformers film, has all the action, all the the bravado, everything that you love about Transformers, but also how do we, make it for everybody? And that was the big challenge.
One of the things about this Transformers is you have to make a movie that's going to appeal to moviegoers. You got to make sure Paramount is happy, and you have to make sure Hasbro is happy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. So
talk a little bit about like what did Hasbro say in terms of notes, and because also, let's be honest, it helps to sell toys. It's. You know what I mean? So like,
well, Hasbro's a toy company.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And Transformers was a toy first, and then they made it series. So it's born out of being a toy. The Hasbro was great because they would give me whatever I needed. Any questions I had, I'd throw their way, and they would, the brand team would answer with either a PDF explaining something or artwork, anything we needed. So that they were extremely helpful for just any questions at all. There's a lot of lore, with Transformers, and we only have so much screen time and for this story with these characters. So we were able to pick and choose what we needed for the lore to tell the story. But yeah, there's a lot of Paramount, had what they would like in the movie. Hasbro, luckily, everybody's happy right now. So I'm very happy with how it's turned out.
One of the things is there's going to be a lot of toys for this movie. I already know
I hope so.
Oh, please. I know there's toys coming. Which is the coolest thing you've seen in terms of merch that you're looking forward to being able to own or just talk about?
I have the Robocen Optimus Prime that once itself transforms.
Sure.
That thing's pretty incredible.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I joked with my kids. I said, well, meet your next sibling. And they're like, what? It's breathing.
Yeah, I know.
But that thing's pretty cool. Man, if they make an Orion Pax one or something from our film, that would be cool. I really hope they make a pinball machine.
They have Transformers pinball, but not like this Transformers.
Specifically to this film. I would love to own a pinball machine for this movie.
I love pinball. Actually, like, are you based in LA?
Yeah.
Where do you go for pinball?
My house. I have a few. I have a Toy Story 4 one and the 66 Batman.
Okay, those are both good. For people that are watching, there's a place in Van Nuys called Aogogi. It's Korean barbecue.
I have not gone there yet.
Okay, well, it's the best pinball place I found in LA. This is very important information. I'm going to give them a plug. If you go in, it's Korean barbecue and it's fantastic and it's always packed. You walk to the back and there's a door on the left. After you go past the kitchen, you'd be like, what is back here? You open the door. It's the best pinball parlor in Los Angeles. Newest games. They do league play, and the games are always working. And if there's ever a problem, they fix it immediately. And a full bar with a lot of good. And they have new pinball and older pinball, but they will get the newest games in first. It's unbelievable. The place is fantastic.
Okay.
Aogogi, Van Nuys.
Let's go.
You think I'm
not joking.
Yep. Hi. We'll talk off camera. So listen, I'm gonna leave you be, and because we're gonna do more talking once we can do spoilers. I'm just gonna say again on camera, like, you made a great movie that also happens to star Transformers.
Oh,
and,
thank you.
I think fans are gonna be really, really happy.
Thank you so much. I'm representing not only as the director, but this amazing crew that I got to work with at ILM and at Paramount, and we are so happy with how it turned out. So thank you.
Totally. On that note, look for more interviews from Comic-Con soon.